Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Good morning and a very warm welcome to everyone. I welcome you all to session 3 of Weekend with Wisdom, wherein Swamini Satyavardhananda Saraswati ji is speaking on the topic Bhagavad Gita Grantha Granthi Shlokas. I welcome you, Mataji. And viewers, yesterday we saw two wonderful sessions wherein Swamini gave us so many insights into Bhagavad Gita Grantha Granthi Shlokas. Today, again, we have two more sessions, that is the morning one now, and again in the evening at 6 p.m. Please tune into the sessions. And viewers, if you have any question, please post them in Q&A box. Mataji will be taking up towards the end of the session. Mataji, please start your session.
Hari. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gradhitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatvamanusandadhami Bhagavad-gite bhavadveshini. Hari Om. We are seeing the topic of Grantha Grandhi Shlokas of Mahabharata, particularly from Bhagavad Gita, since Bhagavad Gita occurs in the middle of Mahabharata. Grantha Grandhi Shlokas are those shlokas, riddled shlokas, puzzled shlokas, shlokas with the paradoxical language. These shlokas, paradoxical language shlokas, why they are introduced in Bhagavad Gita? Because Upanishadic teaching is not a direct teaching about Brahman. Upanishad cannot reveal Brahman directly. Since Brahman cannot be revealed directly, Upanishad follow two, three methods. One is Nishedhamukha Vakyena, negation method. By negating, Brahman is revealed. By negating everything, Anatma, Upanishad reveals the Brahman. That is one way of revelation of Brahman. Then second method is followed by Upanishad is the language of paradox, paradoxical language. That is difficult for us to understand because of that Shadlinga Vakyani, Upakrama Upasamhara Abhyasa Apurvata Phalam Ardhavadopapatti cha Lingam Tatparya Niranaye. Through that clues, we come to know that paradoxical language, how it unfolds the exact meaning. Through Shadlinga Vakyas only, we come to know exact meaning of that puzzle sloka or paradoxical language, how to unfold. These lingas are the clues for us. Acharyas, great Advaita Acharyas, they have written a lot of commentaries, bhashyams, vyakhyanams, based on these Tatparya Lingams. These Tatparya Lingams are very, very important. For each Upanishad, there are Tatparya Lingams. That is a different subject entirely. For each Upanishad, we have Tatparya Lingam. Now come to this today's Grantha Grandhi Shloka. I'm going to take the shloka from the 4th chapter, Karmani Akarmaya Paschet. That shloka I'm going to take. Before going to introduce the shloka, I would like to give some introduction. Just as I mentioned in yesterday's class, 2nd chapter is that main chapter where the Jiva Swarupam is mentioned. Jiva Swarupam means the individual nature. Atma Swarupam. From that 12th verse onwards, Arjuna asked a question. For that, Lord Krishna answering Sthita Prajna Lakshanas later. And before that, from 11th verse onwards up to 25th verse, he spoke about Atma Lakshanas. After explaining the Jiva Swarupam, Atma Swarupam is Jiva Swarupam. Therefore, the first Shatkam talking about Tvampada Vichara. This Tvampada Vichara, by talking, sadhana in the first Shatkam given was Karma Yoga Sadhana. And the Karma Yoga Sadhana was given how the human effort is also important, is also presented in the first Shatkam, first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Then in the Madhyama Shatkam, we have again that Ishvara Swarupam, Tatpada Vichara, and Ishvara Anugraha also given there. That is Upasana Yoga Sadhanam, Ishvara Anugraha, all are given. Now we are in the first Shatkam today also. That is 4th chapter also, from 18th verse onwards up to 25th verse. Again, this is also a crux of Vedanta. Yesterday I given 2nd chapter, 12th or 11th verse to 25th verse, and today's 4th chapter, 18th verse to 25th verse is again the crux of Vedanta. So this is very, very important. Between this 18 and 25, we are taking the 18th verse, which is Grantha Grandhi Shloka. This Grantha Grandhi Shloka, 3rd shloka we are seeing now. Yesterday 2 shlokas we saw from 2nd chapter, that is from 16th verse, and 18th verse, 69th verse of 2nd chapter we saw. Now 4th chapter we have come, that is the 18th verse, because 3rd chapter, no other Grantha Grandhi shlokas, only totally 5 shlokas are there in Bhagavad Gita, Grantha Grandhi shlokas. All the rest are in Mahabharata, there and there, they are available. Now, the shloka I will read, then I will give the meaning. Karmanya karmaya pasyet akarmani cha karmayah sabuddhiman manusheshu sayuktah krishna karma krit. Now I'll give you the word of meaning first, then I would like to give some background to understand this shloka. Saha yaha pasyet, the one who sees, akarma karmani. Akarma means the actionlessness. The actionlessness of the self, akarma. Where karmani means amidst the activities of the body. Karmani or ahankarasya karmani. That I will explain further later. Saha yaha pasyet akarma karmani, the one who sees the actionlessness of the self in between or amidst of the activities of the body mind complex. Then karma akarmani cha, yaha cha karma akarmani cha. This is second vision. Thus it is the first vision, first half of the first line, first half. Then second half of the first line, akarmani cha karma yaha cha pashyet. Karma means again the potential actions. Jnani sees the potential actions akarmani in the inaction of the body, in the inaction of the body. Akarmani. Saha buddhiman manushyeshu. He is wise, buddhiman, wise person. Among manushyeshu, among men, among human beings. And saha yuktaha. That wise person is yuktaha, means jnani. Jnani yogi. Yuktaha means jnani. Here yogi is the literal meaning. We can take jnani. Saha Krishna karma krita. He has accomplished everything. He has completed all his duties. Krishna means totally, in its entirety. Krishna karma krita. All actions are completed by him. This is the literal meaning. Now let us go into who am I? First I have to understand, then only this shloka can be grasped properly. Who am I? When we say I am, it is a mixture. I am, it is a mixture. Mixture of what and what? Mixture of English they call in spirit and matter. But in Vedanta we say aham, when I use the word, it is a mixture of higher I and lower I. Higher I, that is consciousness, existence, principle. That is my higher nature. And my lower nature is ahankara, body-mind complex, which we call jiva or chidabhasa. Ahankara alone is called chidabhasa. Now we have to see the entire Vedanta presentation. We have to remember in our mind. What is that? I, the existence consciousness principle, lend existence and sentiency to the body-mind complex. In that inert body, sthula shariram becomes sentient, blessed by the sukshma shariram, subtle body. Gross body, inert body becomes sentient because it is blessed by the sentient subtle body. Then how the subtle body is sentient? Basically, subtle body, all pancha jnanendriyani, pancha karmendriyani, pancha pranadayaha, manas, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, all put together a package which is known as sukshma shariram. Sukshma shariram enlivens the gross body. How sukshma shariram is enlivened? It is enlivened by me, the consciousness, existence, principle. I lend sentiency to the subtle body, the mind, through forming a chidabhasa. In my presence, the mind becomes sentient. So I lend sentiency to the mind. Mind becomes sentient. Then that mind, which is called subtle body, lend existence to the gross body. Then gross body becomes sentient. When this mind becomes sentient, when the Chidabhasa is formed, ahankara, I, the ego. Ego means not pride here. Ego means that aham, that the thought where it arises. That is called ahamkara. Aham iti karoti. Ahankara. I am. That thought where it rises in the mind. How it rises because of Chidabhasa. How Chidabhasa is formed. Adi Chit is reflecting in the mind in the form of Chidabhasa. Then inert mind becomes sentient. That sentient mind lends a sentiency to the body. So now I am means consciousness, existence, principle, higher nature plus lower nature, ahankara. Pure consciousness, pure existence cannot say I am. Pure consciousness, Shuddha Sat, Shuddha Chit cannot say I am. So Shuddha Sat, Shuddha Chit is Nirupadhikam. They have to associate with, not deliberately, but in my presence, this matter, body, mind complex becomes sentient. This is a fine matter which can reflect my higher nature. So whenever I say it is a assemblage, it is a combination, mixture, I am. So body mind complex, which is Maya, which is matter, which is inert, and in my presence, that Sat Chit in my presence, since I am all pervading, this matter, Maya, Prakriti, becomes sentient. So whenever, whoever say I am, it is a mixture. This every Vedantic student has to grasp. This is the basic lesson. Without understanding this, Vedanta cannot be grasped properly. Even if you understand the shlokas, they will not gel with your understanding and what your shloka says. It will not align. What is the basic knowledge? I am, whenever I say, I am a mixture. I am a mixture of consciousness, existence, principle, higher nature. Why it is called higher nature? It is ever there eternally. It is not depending upon anything, but the body mind is depending on the consciousness and existence principle for its existence, for its function also. Body mind complex is there, I, the Shuddha Sat Chit manifest. If body mind complex is not there, I won't manifest, I remain as Sat Chit Nirupadhika Rupena. Therefore, now I am, when I say I am, is Sopadhikam. I, the consciousness, existence, principle, am Sopadhikam, using the Ahankara. Now, Ahankara, body-mind complex. I, the consciousness, existence, principle. Which one is real? Atma Chaitanyam, Sat Chit is real. Because it is permanent, Nityaha, Ekaha, Satyaha. Whereas this body-mind complex is matter, inert, it doesn't have its own existence or sentiency independently. It is not Swayam Prakash. Therefore, it is having gradation, it is Anityam, it is Anekam, and it has got a lot of doshas. All vikaras are there. Therefore, this cannot be my higher nature. This cannot be my real nature. This is only a vesham. My vesham, like kanchukam. like a quote, like this must be there in our mind. Intellectually, we must be agile to this knowledge. Intellectually, you cannot separate them physically. Consciousness, existence separating, and body, mind separating doesn't exist like that. You need not separate physically, it is not possible also. Then what we have to do? Intellectually understand I, the pure consciousness, existence principle, am higher order of reality. This body mind complex, which is made out of Maya, Prakriti, is of lower order of reality. Vyavaharika Satyam. I am Paramarthika Satyam. So my job is what? I have to claim my higher nature, Paramarthika Satyam nature, I have to claim. I have to disown, disidentify, distance myself from this Vyavaharika body-mind complex. How can I distance? Staying in the body itself, I have to distance myself intellectually. Just like holding the pot in my hand itself, keeping the pot in my hand itself, using the pot by pouring milk, water, I can say there is no pot. Yes, I can use it. I need not to throw the pot. It's not necessary. Why to throw? Intelligent person is one who make use of the pot and say, understand, there is no pot. Clear? Understand there is no pot, keeping the pot in the hand, making use of the pot. Like that, same way, the body also, pot-like body also, we make use of it, Vyavaharika Satyam, and we can distance ourselves from intellectually, cognitively, we can distance from the body-mind complex. It is lower nature. How you can distance yourself from the dream objects, what you dreamt yesterday in the night. They are all false. You have distanced from them. Like that, Jnani is one who distances himself from this body-mind complex in spite of staying in the body-mind complex, available in the body-mind complex, while talking and taking the class of what? Weekend wisdom. Talking about the 18th verse of the shloka. We can happily use this body. You need not throw it. We need not die for that sake. Some people talk about moksha, after death only moksha. But in Advaita we say Jivan Mukti. Happily use this body, make use of it. It is a privilege for me, I, the consciousness existence principle, manifest in the body. It is my beauty, it is my vibhuti, it is my glory, it is my power, it is my shakti, it is my, what you can call, that is my, the greatness. The my means when I say higher I am permanent, I am eternal. When I say, it goes to the higher part of the I. When I say the body, death is there, birth is there, disease is there, and all are there, it goes to the lower nature of I. Lower nature of I means body, mind, complex, ahankara, chidabhas, all are temporary. If you know this, you can understand this shloka. I hope you have grasped now. Now let us go to the meaning of this shloka. It is presented, considered as Grantha Grandhi shloka, since it is in paradoxical language, riddled, riddled manner it is there, and it is like a puzzle, and it looks as though contradictory. And contradiction, superficially it appears as though contradiction. There is a contradiction. Krishna is talking contradictorily, but it is not contradiction. There is no contradiction, only it appears as though there is contradiction. How we reconcile, how we resolve that contradiction? Now let us go to deep analysis. Once again, I'll go through the meaning with the extra words I have to include to understand the meaning. Total 2 sentences if you want to say the gist of the shloka in 2 sentences. Simple. Atma is eternal samsari. Atma, I the self, am eternal samsari. I don't have samsara. First sentence. Second sentence, essence of this shloka is Anatma is eternal samsari. Anatma is eternal samsari. That is presented. Thus, it is the gist of this shloka. First sentence, now first quarter, let us look into that once again. Karmani akarmaya pashyet. Krishna says, wise men sees actionlessness in action. That means Atmani adhyastha karmani. Atmani adhyastha karmani. Wise man sees actionlessness in action. Further explanation, the action which is falsely transferred to Atma, the action which is falsely transferred to Atma, upon that means that falsely transferred action, wise man sees as inaction. Wise man sees as inaction. Even after this explanation also, it cannot be clear. You require some more explanation. Then second quarter. Akarmani cha karmayaha. Discriminative person sees action in actionlessness of ahankara. Discriminative person, Viveki, sees action or karma in actionlessness of ahankara. Now, Shankaracharya's explanation, we will go into that further. Without Acharya's explanation, the elaborate commentary Acharya gives, Madhusudana Saraswati, elaborate commentary, Ramaraya Kavi writes different views on this first answer, second answer, how they look from different angles, the shlokas. That and all we are not going to see, but we can look into that with few points. Shankaracharya says, actionlessness is of twofold. There are 2 types of actionlessness. What are those 2? One is absolute actionlessness of Atma. Actionlessness is called akarma. Akarma is equal to actionlessness. One is absolute actionlessness of Atma. This is not known to all people. This is not known to all people. Only weekend sessions, Vedanta sessions, those who attend, they only can know. Ignorant people do not know about this Atma, which is eternal, absolute, actionless Atma. That is actionlessness is the nature of Atma. Akarta Atma. There is no karma in Atma at all. Nishkriyaha. Akriyaha. This is one meaning of actionlessness. So akarma, actionlessness of twofold. One is absolute actionlessness of Atma. Then second type of actionlessness means which is superficial actionlessness, temporary actionlessness, anitya akarma in Sanskrit, which is talked by the people. It is a temporary actionlessness. which is anityam. Which is anityam. Ahankara is free from action. It is anitya akarma, temporary actionlessness. Whereas Atma akarma is permanent, nitya akarma, Atma, absolute actionlessness. So now too we have got absolute actionlessness, temporary actionlessness. Okay. Now absolute actionlessness is Atma. Absolute actionlessness belongs to Atma. Temporary actionlessness belongs to Ahankara. Okay, this division also must be clear to understand this sloka. Now, therefore, what we say, one is Nitya Akarma of Atma, another is Anitya Akarma of Ahankara. These are all like preparation. Before cooking food, they arrange all provisions. No? Vegetables they have to cut, other things they have to soak in the water, grains and all they keep present readily, and they start cooking. Like that here also, all are ready. This stuff must be ready to apply this whole sloka, how to grasp, understand. So these are all I am preparing you to understand this sloka. Otherwise, it is not very much clear. Now, therefore, one is Nitya Akarma Atma, another is Anitya Akarma Ahankara. Now, in Anitya Akarma Ahankara, why we say Anitya Akarma Ahankara? This is as good as karma. Anitya Akarma Ahankara. Ahankara's actionlessness is temporary. It is as good as action only. Who knows? Wise people knows. Like you people are all wise. Because we are studying Shastra from a long time and committed to study Shastra. So wise people knows that Ahankara is Anitya Akarma. It is a temporary actionlessness. Only there in Ahankara. Ahankara can never have permanent actionlessness. So many reasons Acharya gives, some of them we'll see here now. Why Ahankara is Anitya Akarma? Its actionlessness is Anityam, temporary. It is as good as karma only. It is as good as action only, even though it is actionlessness we are talking. I'm not doing any action. I'm not a doer. We say sometimes, I'm not doing. What are those? Some 4 points I will give. For example, first example we'll take. On Shivaratri day, we do fasting. On Shivaratri day, we do fasting. Fasting means what? I don't take cooked food, rice and all. Okay. Now here we see the fasting is involved. What it involves? Karta. I am the one who is doing fasting. Now what I'm giving presentation is for this. Why Ahankara's actionlessness is temporary, why it is as good as karma. It is very important. Why actionlessness of Ahankara is as good as action? Why? Because of this reason. 4 or 5 reasons we see. Because this fasting action, it involves karta, the one who is doing fasting. Number 1, non-eater. I am a non-eater. And second point, in this fasting, fasting involves karma. What I'm doing in that fasting, I'm not eating food, cooked food. Rice I'm not eating. That is karma involved. That is object of my fasting. Okay. I, the subject who is doing fasting. What I have left, that is fast food, is called object. Karma is involved. And the third one, what is involved here is on which day I am doing, when I am doing. That is adhikarana, the locus, the time, particular time I am doing fasting. Ekadashi, Anudvadashi, fasting, particular time, particular day, particular function, like that. So this is the first reason. First reason what? They have common features. Karma and akarma of ahankara have common features. That is the point here. Karma, action, akarma, actionlessness of ahankara. Both karma and akarma of ahankara have got common features. How they can have common features? No? This is the one. In karma also karta is involved, karma is involved, and locus is involved. In akarma, fasting also, karta is involved, karma, food is involved, and leaving the food, that is involved, and particular day fasting is involved. Number one. Now come to the second point. What is second point? How karma and akarma of ahankara, they are common. Second point. Pravritti, nivritti are involved. In ahankara, akarma, pravritti, nivritti involved. Withdrawal and going forward. Effort is involved. Withdrawal is involved. Nivritti means withdrawal. Pravritti means going forward. Effort is involved. So pravritti, nivritti, rupa, karma is involved in akarma of atma, ahankara also. Similarly, ahimsa, non-violence. Non-violence is akarma. I'm not doing himsa is akarma only. Similarly, asteyam, non-stealing, that is also akarma. Not stealing, akarma only. Not doing stealing action. Then aparigraha, not accumulating, not possessing, that is also akarma only. Similarly, this is second point. That is what? Pravritti, nivritti. Nivritti means what? Withdrawal of himsa, withdrawal of stealing, withdrawal of parigraha, withdrawal from parigraha, withdrawal from stealing action, withdrawal from the violent action. So withdrawal involved, nivritti is involved. This is the second point. Now third point is akarma, actionlessness with regard to ahimsa gives punyam. If I am not violent, I am not doing himsa, what I get? I get punyam. So akarma, not doing violence is akarma. With regard to akarma, that ahimsa akarma gives me punyam. Then not performing certain vihita karma is also akarma. Not performing some prescribed actions by the Shastra, that is also akarma. Akarma of vihita karma, duties, is also akarma, gives papam. Following appropriate akarma, that is ahimsa, gives punyam. Following inappropriate akarma, that is giving up of my vihita karma, nitya naimittika karma, inappropriate actionlessness gives papam. So this karma, akarma of appropriate actions, akarma of appropriate actions, akarma of inappropriate actions gives punya papa. They cause to punya papa. Now, that is the third point. Now come to the fourth point. Not only punya papa they are giving, they are also associated with the positive, negative instructions. Chodana. Instructions means commandment. Positive instruction is like this. Athato dharma jignasa chodana means instruction, commandment. Shastra commands, may you have interest, in performing dharmic actions. So ahankara, akarma, perpetuates samsara by giving punya and papa. Ahankara, akarma, whether inappropriate akarma or appropriate akarma. Appropriate akarma gives punyam, inappropriate akarma gives papam. So by giving punya papa, you are again in the hold of punya papa chain, golden chain and iron chain. Not only that, bahutvam is there. Bahu means karma, akarma, varieties are there. Varieties means here Vaidika karma, Laukika karma, different varieties of actions. Kayika karma, Vachika karma, Manasa karma. So Bahutvam is there. Chodana is there. Karakam is there. Kriya, Karta, Karma, Adhikaranam, Locus, all are involved in the akarma of ahankara. It is as good as karma only. Okay. Therefore, Krishna Paramatma said in the third chapter, 27th verse, Prakrite kriyamānāni gunaih karmāni sarvashah ahankara vimūdhatma kartāhamiti manyate. Kartāham iti manyate. In akarma also, I am following non-violence. I am doing fasting today. I am doing all these good karma, like that good karmas, all avoiding all papa karmas. Like that, there is ahankara involved, kartrutvam involved. Ahankara vimudhatma, karta aham iti manyate. Either nivritti rupam akarma or pravritti rupam akarma. Either appropriate action or inappropriate action, or appropriate actionlessness or inappropriate actionlessness. Vimudha atma ahankara, that vimudha atma karta aham iti manyate. Whereas wise person, tattva, next shloka, third chapter, Krishna says, tattva vittumaha bhago guna karma vibhagayoh guna guneshu vartante itumatva na sajjate. Wise person is one who distances himself. These karma and akarma are going on in ahankara because of prakriti, maya. Guna guneshu vartante. All these sense organs interacting with the sense objects. Vartante. Iti matva, having understood. Iti matva. Na sajjate. Not associated with them, not having any abhimana on those actions. Like any other karma, akarma is also associated with ahankara only. This is the bottom line. What is the bottom line? Like any other karma action, the akarma, the actionlessness of ahankara is nothing but action only. Actionlessness is associated with ahankara only. Therefore, it is as good as action only. Just as karma associated with ahankara, akarma is also associated with ahankara. So with regard to nivritti also, ahankara is involved. With regard to pravritti also, ahankara is involved. Finally, one sentence Acharya says, pravritti nivrittau kartrutantratvat viveki karma abhave karma pashyati. Beautiful conclusion. Acharya says, pravritti nivrittau kartrutantratvat. They are depending upon this karta. Kartrutantratvat. To withdraw and to go for it. Pravritti nivrittau kartrutantratvat viveki jnani karma abhave. Even actionlessness is there. Karma pashyati. He sees the karma, action. When Nitya Akarma, Atma, we do not know. Whatever inaction we talk belong to what? When we do not know Atma, Nitya Akarma, Atma, whatever we talk about inaction, it belongs to only Ahankara. It belongs to Ahankara. This is the essence of the first line. And next line is Stuti. Krishna Paramatma glorifying that Jnani, that wise person. He is Saha Manushyeshu Buddhiman. He is wise, Buddhiman, such a discriminative person who sees actionlessness in the place of action and sees action in the actionlessness of Ahankara. He is a Buddhiman. Buddhiman means he is wise, intelligent person. What we call intelligence in the world, it is not intelligence at all. That is Vyavaharika intelligence. From the Vedanta standpoint, that is unintelligence only. Okay. Now forget about that Vyavahara. Now we come to this point. Saha Buddhiman Manushyeshu Jnani Ityarthaha, intelligent person. Next one, Saha Krishna Karma Krit. Yuktaha Krishna Karma Krit. Yuktaha is also a glory. Stuti, the one who has got this vision. Karmanya karmayah pashyet akarmani cha karmayaha. That Atma is ever akarta. There is no karma at all. Absolute actionlessness is there. Nitya akarma Atma, whoever knows. And Nitya, Anitya akarma Ahankara is as good as karma only, whoever knows. When I use the word I am doing, I am not doing, I am doing, I am not doing, this I is a mixture. Guna guneshu vartante, Jnani knows, but Ajnani doesn't know. Ahankara vimudatma karta ahamiti manyate. So there is lot of difference between Jnani and Ajnani. Ahankara, that is Ajnani, and Jnani who use the Ahankara never take Ahankara as himself or herself. So there is lot of difference in their thinking, in their understanding. Lot of difference. Saha yuktaha. Therefore, Acharya Krishna Paramatma glorifies. This person is yuktaha. Yuktaha means yogi or jnani. Yuktaha means integrated person. The one who knows how to make use of panchakoshas for what purpose. One who knows how to master the body, how to master the mind, how to master sense organs, how to make use of intellect for right purpose, right cause, right knowledge. And how to get knowledge within that time, lifespan, and make use of this instrument, body-mind complex properly. The one who attain knowledge is yuktaha only. Aligned person. Manasyekam, vachasyekam, karmani ekam, mahatmanaha. So is an aligned person. Body, mind, complex, sense organs are all aligned. Yesterday we saw Munihi, that whose sense organs are with him, Shama, Dama. All that is called mastery. Mastery on one's own body, mastery on one's own mind, mastery on one's own sense organs. After doing that only he has come to this level of knowledge. Able to see that Ahankara as Ahankara and higher I as higher I, and able to claim that I am higher I. After following that alignment, integration of the personality, only person has come here. Not easily they can grasp. Therefore, they are in their own world. The subject is always hovering all over their mind. Even though they are moving in the middle of people, but they are in their own world of wisdom. If a weekend wisdom, if you say weekend, there is another meaning also will come. So our wisdom should not be weekend. It should not become weak. Okay, spelling is different. Spelling is different. Pronunciation is same. That is called English language. Weekend wisdom anna. Weekend with wisdom anna. So Saturday, Sunday, normally people feel comfortable. Those who do job and weekend, they are very, very happy. Saturday, Sunday has come. Weekend, and they're waiting from Monday onwards up to Saturday. When Saturday will come, when Saturday will come, weekend will come. Because they have become weekend. Weekend, and then weekend this. So that meaning, it should not sound like that. Okay? Here, weekend. At the end of the week, at least those who are working all the time, at least come to these weekend programs conducted by the Advaita Academy. Don't spend in cinemas, serials, parties like that. At least Saturday, Sunday, you can spend your time for the pursuit of your higher nature. That is the intention of these weekend sessions. But people, so they keep a lot of shopping Saturday, Sunday, also sitting and listening to Vedanta. Oh my God, let us go to some shopping. All those people are worldly people. But there are people waiting for these weekend sessions. Let me spend my time for Atma Vichara. At least Saturday, Sunday, full time. That's why they are keeping morning session, evening session, so that your mind fully absorb in Atma Vichara. So Monday to Friday, suppose you are busy, work is there. At least Saturday, Sunday, you spend the time for your internal pursuit and for your upliftment, for your sake. Atmano mokshartham jagat hitaya cha. I am going to attain moksha for whose purpose? For jagat hitam, for the welfare of universe, not only for my sake. That's why one jnani is there in his presence, in the surroundings, and that a place fully saubhagyam, mangalam, all will happen. Therefore, jnanam is very important. Now, this person is called yuktaha. Now, one more glorification also, Lord Krishna says, Saha Krishna karma krita. He is the one who has completed all his duties. Acharya says this is only glorification. This is only stuti, because in Shadlingas, Upakrama, Upasamhara, Abhyasa, Apurvata, Phalam, Arthavadopapatti, that Arthavada. Krishna Karma Krita means the one who has completed all his duties, completed everything, all his accomplishments. That is the literal meaning. But Acharya says that doesn't exist. That word is only glory, glorification, stuti, arthavada. For that, Acharya gives a lot of reasons why completion of duties does not exist. Completion of duties does not exist. People say, many people after retirement, I have completed all my duties. My daughter has got married. My son has got settled and married. Everything over there, all settled. Now I am also settled. Everything I have completed. And they want to come to ashrams and tours with Swamijis and Swaminis. And they're telling, they use these words. That's why I'm telling. I'm not telling. They say, I have completed all my duties, Swamini. False. That statement is false. Either way, from Atma standpoint, if you see completing duties, it doesn't exist. Why? Number one, Atma doesn't have duties. You are higher I or lower I? If you are wise enough, if you claim yourself you are higher I, Sat Chit Ananda, higher I the Atma am ever free from actions. I have no duties at all. I am Nishkriya, Akriya, Akarta. Therefore, from the Atma standpoint, if you see also, Atma doesn't have, the Atma doesn't have duties, number one. Therefore, accomplishing all duties is only Arthavada. Let us take from Ahankara standpoint. No, not is from on the Atma standpoint. Krishna said from Ahankara standpoint only, Sah Krishna Karma Kriti. From Ahankara standpoint also, you cannot say he has completed all his duties. Gnani is one who has completed all duties. You cannot say Ahankara is never free from all duties. It is impossible. Ahankara, the moment you use the word Ahankara, it is always with the duties only. Therefore, Ahankara can never complete his duties. Either way, now what completion of duties doesn't exist. Then why Krishna said that Krishna Karma Krita, the one who has completed all his duties. What is this? What Krishna is teaching, wrong teaching? Why Lord Krishna has to teach? Next, Ahankara is mithya. Okay, false. Completing duties, all this comes under Vyavaharikam, false. That is topic over. What is that? Saha buddhiman, saha yuktaha, saha karmakrit. Krishna karmakrit. So second line also completed. The whole sloka is, meaning is over. Now, Lord Krishna's statement looks like a wrong teaching. Okay. What the statement? See the action as actionlessness. See actionlessness as action. What is this teaching? How can I see the action as actionlessness and actionlessness as action? Actionlessness in action. Actionlessness you must see as action, and action as actionlessness. What is this teaching? Confusing. No. Lord Krishna is correcting our vision. Lord Krishna is correcting. The correcting teaching looks like wrong teaching for common people, not for wise people. Correcting our vision looks like wrong teaching. Now, Lord Krishna never give a wrong teaching. By giving wrong teaching, suppose, how a person can get liberation? If Lord Krishna gives wrong teaching, Saha Ashnute, Moksha Ashnute, Lord Krishna says, how that moksha is possible? By wrong teaching. Therefore, it cannot be wrong teaching, it is right teaching. But Lord Krishna correcting our wrong vision. Lord Krishna correcting our wrong vision. Now let us go to the next. Lord Krishna is the teacher, Jagat Guru. He never teach wrongly. We have to understand properly. Now the grammatical observation, how we have to see this karmanya karmaya pashyet akarmani cha karmayaha. Grammatical presentation, observation, Shankaracharya gives, a jnani will perceive akarma upon karma. A jnani will perceive karma upon akarma. Jnani will perceive akarma, actionlessness, in upon action. A jnani will perceive karma, the action, upon akarma, actionlessness. One is presence of karma, another is absence of karma. Akarma means absence of karma. Actionlessness means what? Absence of karma. absence of action. Karma means presence of action. Now, the presence of action, absence of action, you should not translate this way. That means seeing actionlessness in action, seeing action in actionlessness, that in are supporter supported. Suppose I say this clip is in my hand. This clip is in my hand. So my hand is supporting the clip. This is the supported. Clip is supported. My hand is the supporter. Adhara adheya. Clip is in my hand. So adhara adheya. Shankaracharya gives another example. Badari phalam. In the pot. Suppose you put a fruit, badari fruit, in the pot. Badari fruit. Fruit is in the pot. So in the example, supporter supported, two objects are different. The fruit is there and pot is there. Clip is there, hand is there. Two objects are there. Supporter supported, you can talk about. Adhikarana Saptami, you can talk about. But you should not take like that. Because one is bhava rupam, karma is bhava rupam, akarma is abhava rupam. Actionlessness is absence of action. It is abhava rupam. Karma is presence of action. It is bhava rupam. Therefore, between these two, you cannot take like that supporter supported, like badari phalam in the ghataha. That you should not take. Adhikarana saptami you should not take. In you should not take. How to translate? What is wrong translation? What is right translation? That is Acharya analyze. In Bhashyam, you have to take Vishaya Saptami. Vishaya Saptami should be taken. That means with regard to. That is the meaning. Adhikarana Saptami, if you take upon, in will come. In absence of abhava rupa karma, absence of action or actionlessness, that in doesn't work. Adhikarana will not work. Therefore, Vishaya Saptami, karma in action, karma in akarma, akarma in karma is wrong translation. You should not take like that. Seeing action in actionlessness, seeing actionlessness in action is wrong translation. How to translate? He translate like this. Then how to translate? Wise person sees akarma, actionlessness, with regard to karma, the action. Number one. Point number one. Wise person sees akarma or actionlessness with regard to karma, action. With regard to or in the place of, we have to take that meaning. So wise person sees action in the place of actionlessness, which means wise person sees action in the place of actionlessness by displacing the actionlessness. Confusion. I'll give the example, then you understand easily. So, wise person sees actionless action in the place of actionless by the displacement of actionlessness. Then second point, the jnani, wise person, sees actionlessness in the place of action by displacement of action. Wise person sees actionlessness in the place of action by displacement of action, karma. If you are not able to understand this, if I give an example, you understand. Like, see the rope in the place of snake by the displacement of the snake. I hope you understand now. See the rope in the place of snake. Snake means the false snake, where you see in the dim light. See the rope in the place of snake by the displacement of the snake. Correct? Like that. Another example, see the sand in the place of water by the displacement of water. See the sand in the place of water, mirage water, by the displacement of water. Correct? That is right vision. That is right teaching. Like that here also, Gnani sees actionlessness in the place of action by the displacement of action. Okay? Gnani sees action in the place of actionlessness by displacement of action. Okay? When you understand this, only when you understand ahankara, anitya, akarma, atma, nitya, akarma. When you understand this clearly, only this sloka will be clear. Now, this is about Vishaya Saptami. So don't take Adhikarana Saptami, Vishaya Saptami with regard to in the place of. In the place of action, you see the actionlessness. In the place of actionlessness, you see the action of whom? Atma. Atma and Ahankara. Action, actionless with regard to Atma and Ahankara must be very clear. Ahankara is never free from action. It can never be akarma, actionless. And Atma is ever actionless. But what ignorant people are doing? Mixing up and messing up and confuse, superimposing all the body, mind, mentally actions upon oneself, the real Atma, not knowing this. The whole samsara, problem, sorrow, suffering, everything is because of ignorance, avidya. Avidya alone is the cause. That we have to remove. So now Shankaracharya gives two more examples for these two mistakes. There are two examples. Karmani akarmaya paschet akarmani cha karmaya. Jnani sees properly. But Ajnanis people, how they look at this. There are trees on the banks of the river. Acharya gives this example. In the boat, people are traveling in the river. And while we are traveling in the river, upon the boat, and we see the trees are moving as though they are going back that side. That's what Acharya gives the example. Stationary, non-moving trees, and they are experienced as moving trees, where the actionlessness is there, but people see the action. Where the actionlessness is there in the trees, they are not really moving, but people are experiencing or not. Like that, ignorant people also, not knowing the Atma, which is actionless, ever the actionless Atma, not knowing that, not claiming that, and worrying about so many duties I am doing, how long I have to do these duties, when I am going to finish my duties. This is a burden for them. Lord Krishna said Krishna Karma Krit means it is a glorification. Glorification, Krishna Karma Krit, glorification what way? Gnani perform karma, it's like a sport. It's not a burden for him. It is a hobby. Distancing from ahankara and performing the actions without any abhimana is called as Krishna Karma Krit. That is the meaning. Distancing from ahankara, falsifying the ahankara, even though person acting jnani, doing the actions, he is distancing himself from the ahankara intellectually. Jnani never looks at any action as a burden, as boredom. any job, any work, they never look forward for Saturday. Normally, ordinary employees and all what looking for Saturday. From Monday onwards, they start. So Sunday night comes, oh, tomorrow I have to go to office. They have some worry, anxiety. Some people get stress itself. Oh, office, I have to go. I have to work when I finish this, when retirement. That's why people take voluntary retirement. Why they take voluntary retirement? Enough of doing the lot of work I did. Ajnani always tired of. He feels boredom, burdensome. Whereas Jnani, wise person, never have any boredom, burdensome, and never get tired of doing Loka Sangraha. It's a hobby. It is like just a sport, entertainment. Jnani does actions like that. If at all Jnani does activities in the society, like Mahatmas, great acharyas, they are so busy in the society they are doing. They never feel burdensome, boredom, uh, no tiredness. How they are doing? Because Tattvavittu Mahabhago Baho Gunakarma Vibhagayoho. Guna Guneshu Vartante iti Matvana Sajjade. That is called Krishna Karma Krit. Krishna Karma Krit. Don't think sannyasi and jnani, if you become, you can give up all duties. This is a wrong thinking. That's why Acharya gives two examples. Trees, when they are not moving, thinking they are moving. This example. This example is for Akarmani Karma Darshana. Trees akarmani, actionlessness, karma, action, movement, darshanam. Then second mistake, he gives example that stars are looking stationary. They are not moving. Appears like that. That akarma darshanam. Karmani is nakshatra, karmani, movement, akarma, non-movement darshanam. This is also mistake number 2 answer example. Who experience? We experience that stability of stars, even though they are moving. That is optical illusion. That is our limitation. But the stars are moving. They move. They look like non-moving. That like that. The two mistakes. So wrong notion number 1 is what now? Wrong notion number 1 is I am the doer notion. I am the doer notion is a wrong notion number 1. When body-mind complex, lower I, ahankara is doing, I am not the body-mind complex. I am the user of the body-mind complex. Higher I am the user of the body-mind complex. I am holding the handbag. I'm using the handbag. I'm keeping so many things in my handbag. Since I'm using my handbag, I'm keeping so all important things in my handbag. Can I say I'm a handbag? I cannot say. The function of the handbag is not my function, my action. Whatever I possess is not me. I possess the body. I'm the possessor of the body-mind complex. I'm not the body-mind complex. Possessor is always different from the possessed. Okay, this is wrong notion number 1. I am the doer notion is wrong notion number 1. When body-mind complex is active, body-mind complex is active, it has to be active. From morning onwards till night, you feel hungry, first breakfast, you have to be active. No, body has to be active. Hungry, lunch, dinner, some work in between, Sharira Yatra. To take care of this body also, you have to be active, take bath, and doing so other things, washing clothes. You cannot stay without action. Even for a moment, one cannot stay without action. Lord Krishna said, Shanamapi Even kshanamapi he cannot stay without action. Therefore, that is wrong notion number one. Wrong notion number two is that I am the non-doer notion. I am the non-doer. I am not doing. That notion is also wrong. From either Atma standpoint also, I should not say I am non-doer. Because Atma, I am always akarta, akarma. Ahankara can never be free from karma. Therefore, non-doer, I am, that statement also wrong. Really speaking, usually in word, generally, commonly we use the words, many words without understanding so many things. So I am the non-doer notion is also, I am the akarta notion is also wrong. When body-mind complex is inactive, I am non-doer and say, since I am not the body-mind complex at all, first one. And secondly, body-mind complex can never be free from action. Therefore, wise person sees that karmani akarmaya pashyet akarmani cha karmaya. So superimposed actions upon Atma, Jnani sees as actionlessness by replacing the action. In the place of action, he sees the actionlessness, Atma, I am ever. And the inaction of Ahankara, he sees action. It is never free from action, Jnani sees. What a beautiful sloka. You see how much it needs explanation. Karmanya karmayah pashyed akarmani cha karmayah sabuddhiman manushyeshu sayuktah saha krishna karma krit. So therefore, yaha karmani akarma pashyed, yaha cha akarmani karma pashyed, saha manusyeshu buddhiman bhavati. Saha yuktah Krishna karma krita cha bhavati. So this is the whole 18th verse to up to Brahmarpanam Brahmave. Lord concludes there in 4th chapter. Full and full Jnana Yoga chapter this is. This chapter is known as Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga also. This chapter is titled as Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga also they call, and Jnana Yoga also they call. Because Jnana Yoga portion comes here, Jiva Swarupam comes here. Jiva Swarupam is higher nature, lower nature, whoever understand clearly. Aham, Atma is none other than Paramatma only. This is only body-mind complex. Vyavaharika Satyam. It cannot touch me, the Paramarthika Atma, Sat and Chit. Body-mind complex is there, I'll manifest. If it is not there, I remain. Like electricity. Bulb is there, fan is there, light manifest, you give the current switch. Switch is like a Chidabhasa. Without switch, it cannot come directly. No, switch is like a Chidabhasa. Electricity is like a Chit and Sat, and bulb is like a body. Okay, bulb fan is there, electricity manifests. If bulb fan is not there, what will happen to electricity? Electricity, nothing will happen. It won't manifest. You cannot make use of it. That is why Shuddham Brahma is not useful. The Shuddham Brahma, pure consciousness, pure existence, is what? Arupam, Ashabdam, Asparsham, Agandham, Ananu, Ahrasvam, Adirgham, Alohitam, Achayam. All these Nirupadhika Brahma Aham in different bodies, in different names, different actions, I am only reveling. That is that Jnani is understanding. Everyone can understand. Every Vedantic student, if you give proper time, quality time and study Shastra, this is just science, this is the Shastra one you have to study. So complete all duties means finally, means what? Distancing myself from the ahankara, falsification of ahankara. So freedom from bondage. Falsification of ahankara alone is freedom from bondage. That is why this falsification of bondage is not possible for people because raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, identity, that ahankara is so strong, very difficult to distance from ahankara. That is why karma kanda, upasana kanda, so many rituals, so many sadhanas, yoga abhyasa, why they are all given? Not just like that. Uh, They are all meant to give chitta shuddhi, chitta ekagrata, jnana yogyata prapti. All these preparations are very important. Once preparation is over, properly done, Shastra is like walkover. Vedanta is a walkover. That's why never neglect the preparations. If there is any mistake in preparations, karma yoga, upasana yoga, ashtanga yoga, any mistake or any lack of sadhana is there, yogyata won't come and jnana prapti will not come. Even though you are studying, maybe you are a scholar, everything, but sadhanas are highlighted in Shastra. Lord Krishna elaborately talks about Daiva Surasampad Vibhaga Yoga, Shraddhatraya Vibhaga Yoga, Karma Yoga, and he talks about Upasana Yoga. Focus on that. It is every word of Krishna Paramatma is very important. So with this, I conclude. This is the essence of this 18th verse. Jnani distance himself from ahankara and falsify the ahankara. That is known as Krishna karma krita. Okay, there is no really completion of duties, because in Atma there are no duties. Anatma is always with the duties. Ahankara. Anatma means ahankara. Therefore, I hope I have communicated. There is a lot of further analysis is there. I hope this much is enough for us to get clarity and dwell upon that and enjoy and relive in that teaching again and again. Okay. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Mataji, thank you so much for sharing this wonderful knowledge. And it was great listening to you on these varied concepts, because now that there is some misconception about people that Advaita, does not concentrate on karma, but what it essentially says, you have summarized it everything in this talk. Thank you so much. And we have a question. How is Swarupa Lakshana different from Tatastha Lakshana?
Swarupa Lakshana in Taittiriya Upanishad, it gives Tatastha Lakshana also. Swarupa Lakshana is a direct definition of Brahman. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam means Sat, Jnanam means Chit, Anantam means infinite, Anandam Brahma. That is Swarupa Lakshanam. It is direct revelation of that Brahma Lakshanam, direct meaning. But it is difficult to understand, it is very abstract. So, method, Shastra follow the method of Tatastha Lakshanam. Tatastha Lakshanam is that showing the one clue, one mark, one indication like that, so that Arundhati Nyaya, like a tree on a bank of the river, showing that some support you go this route, this way, like that, Tatastham. Like that it shows so and so address if you want to know, so that you can find out that person's house. Suppose suddenly I give, that's why we ask landmark. After giving address, why you ask landmark? If landmark is there, Tatastha Lakshana more easy, Swamini, to find out a house naturally. If landmark is not there, address is there, old number, new numbers, some problems will come. Very difficult. That's why easier method you want to get that address easily. So once you want to get easily, you want some more clues. Like that, Tatastha Lakshanam is given. So, as what is Tatastha Lakshanam? Brahman is Jagat Karanam, is Tatastha Lakshanam. Later, we are removing the Karanatvam of Brahman, of Jagat. But why Shastra use that? Why to introduce Brahman as Karanam and why to negate? But we have to. Janma, Yasya, Yataha, from whom this Jagat has come. But later what we say, Apavada time, nothing has come. No creation we say. But Adhyaropa we introduce for the Sukha Bodhartham, Tatastha Lakshana. And we introduce Brahman as Karanam of this universe. From Brahman alone, everything has come. All this Tatastha Lakshanam for the sake of simple communication, for the Sukha Bodhartha, for the easy understanding sake, Shastra used that. Tatastha Lakshanam. And Acharya gives a lot of examples also, Tatastha Lakshanam. Then after coming to Swarupa Lakshanam, correct Jnanam, Tatastha Lakshanam is not required. Karya Karana Vilakshanam Brahma, if you understand, Karanam is not required. Karyam is also negated. Okay?
Okay, Machaji. Thank you so much. And we do not have any more questions, and we can conclude this session. Viewers, if you have any question, please post them in Q&A box. Mataji will also be sharing her knowledge in the evening session at 6 p.m. in the evening. Please join and ask your questions and clear your doubts on these topics. With this, we will conclude. Shri Krupyo Namaha.